How's it going, everybody? Bryan Alvarez here on Wrestling Observer Live. We are here every day, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific 3 Eastern, Sunday 3 Pacific 6 Eastern. It is Tuesday here on this program, and you know what that means. We got a lot to get into, including the Raw show from Monday night. The Cody Rhodes show is what it basically was. I'll tell you all about that here today on the program. And, of course, all of the rest of the news as well. And we got an update today on Shinjiro Ohtani. Ohtani will undergo surgery as a result of the spinal cord injury he suffered during a 0-1 show on Sunday. The promotion sent out an update on Tuesday, noting the surgery will take place on Wednesday, April 13, and is being done to, quote, prevent future deterioration. Ohtani incurred a cervical injury after taking a German suplex into the turnbuckle during a match with Takashi Sugiura. Remained motionless on the mat after taking the move. Fans were asked to leave the venue. Ring ropes were removed, and eventually he was transported to the hospital. He's not been able to move his limbs since the injury. Numerous personalities from around the wrestling world have sent out well wishes to Ohtani on social media. Sending every ounce of positive vibes to Shinjiro Ohtani, said Adam Pearce. Join me in doing the same if you please. Samoa Joe wrote, praying for you this morning, my brother. I know your spirit is too strong to be broken. Best wishes to Ohtani for a speedy recovery, wrote Chris Daniels. And Stardom's Kyrie also announced that she will be donating a portion of the proceeds from recent merchandise sales to Ohtani's recovery. So obviously the best wishes to him as he undergoes this surgery. No update other than that. Still cannot move his arms and legs. And we'll see what happens after this surgery. But very, very sad story, and we'll give you updates as we get them. But that's pretty much all we know. And it's been several days, so it would be time for some good news if we could get it. More after the break. We got the Raw Report. Mike Sempervive joins us. A lot to get into today. Back in a moment. Wrestling Observer Live.
Hey there, everyone. It's Denise, and I'm back once again. This time, I got the opportunity to chat with Filthy Tom Lawlor. Here's a little bit of our conversation.
Yeah, I take these title defenses, and I mean, obviously, I take all this stuff very seriously to a certain degree, even though I'm having a blast, believe me. But I try to make every match I'm out there in as good as it can be, and try not to. I try to mix my style, obviously, and not compromise what I think professional wrestling should be with what the other guy is going to do, you know. And there's certain matches, like I don't know that people would have expected Tom Lawlor versus Fred Rosser to be the rivalry that it's been. You know, you could go Tom Lawlor, Chris Dickinson, those two are going to have a fight, you know what I mean? You could picture that match. But there's been plenty of times where I've gone against guys who, you know, you wouldn't exactly be able to figure out what's going to happen, like Fred Rosser or like a Leo Rush. You know, I don't get the opportunity to wrestle too many cruiserweights, even though I'm like 200 pounds. But wrestling a guy like Leo Rush was awesome for me because it's a completely different style that I'm used to. I'm sure my style is different than what he's used to. And you get to kind of see like what you can develop together and create, you know, be over in Japan. I never got to fight over there. I haven't had a chance to compete over there. I've been there, but that's my goal. You know, and if it means I get to take the New Japan Strong belt over there and defend it, even better. You throw my goals out the window, but I'm pretty sure the plan, you know, from the New Japan Strong or for the New Japan main roster side is to get the guys from Strong over there. There's guys like Jay White hasn't been over there in well over a year, Juice Robinson, Finley. So there's guys who are New Japan Strong guys for the most part right now who, you know, were part of the past of New Japan 2 years ago on the main roster who are going to end up going back over there. And they will, I'm sure, be associated with New Japan. Whereas like I have the opportunity to go over there and people are going to go, this is a New Japan Strong guy. You know what I mean? We now are going to have an avenue to where it's not just like, you know, I like to equate New Japan Strong to NXT. You know, for the New Japan audience. And a lot of times guys just get stuck in NXT right now. And right now, you know, if you look at New Japan Strong, we're stuck there, but it's a different situation. You know, I think once I go over there and some of the other guys from New Japan Strong go over there, you're going to see a lot more wrestlers in the US on the independent scene who want to be part of the New Japan Strong roster. Not even, looking to take that step to New Japan right away, but wanting to be on the show it's the best pro wrestling product.
It was a great time getting to chat with Tom Lawlor. I hope you guys appreciated this preview. I'll see you on the next video.
Back at the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Mike Sempervive, also of WrestlingObserver.com. A lot to get into here today. The Raw report, as always. We had the Ohtani update before the break, and a lot of news. Guys seen Sonic the Hedgehog, by the way? I liked it. Mike, no? You haven't seen Sonic 2?
I have not yet, no.
Oh, my God. Where have you been,
Do I have to?
brother?
I didn't see one.
Well, I don't know if you have to, but
Is it for the kids or for you?
Well, it was for my two daughters are big fans of Sonic the Hedgehog. They've seen the first movie 1,000 times. So we found the Little Fairfax Theater here, wherever we're at, which was built in, I think, the 1950s, hasn't changed since. And got tickets for everybody. We were going to go yesterday after the Filthy show. And went in there, smack dab in the middle of the theater, great seats. And Hanalei lasted 30 seconds. Started screaming. Mostly because they were playing previews for these war movies. I don't even know why. They didn't have kids previews. They had adults previews before a kids movie. So this bomb goes off and it's really loud. She starts screaming. We take her out of the theater, and my wife texts and says, let me know when something happy's happening, and I'll try and bring her back in. So the movie starts, and there's a brief scene with Dr. Robotnik, who's by far the highlight of the movie, Jim Carrey. And then next scene is Sonic and his buddy are on a boat on a lake. What could be more serene? They're on a boat on a lake fishing. So I text my wife, okay, it's a pretty calm scene, bring her back in. So she brings Hanalei back in, and Hanalei sits down, and she's looking at the screen, and there's, as she calls him, Sonic Hedgehog, and he's sitting on the boat, and Sonic falls asleep on the boat. And so he's sleeping, and all of a sudden he just falls overboard into the water, and Hanalei goes, ah! She starts screaming and crying. And that was it. We got out of the theater. She never came back. So,
was there at least a pretty sweet arcade she could play on and
well, no, it's a little town, so they just walked all over. They went to playgrounds. She got her money's worth. I sure didn't. But anyway, Paisley had the time of her life watching this movie. Dr.
I was going to say, is she unfazed by all that stuff? Does she try to help?
No, she didn't like the
style?
She didn't like the spoiler or the whatever they call them, the previews either. And there were a couple parts of the movie that she didn't really like, mostly because the movie's so loud. If we would have watched the movie at the house with the volume on 9, they would have had the time of their lives. But they cranked this volume up, and every time there's anything loud, it's just it's ear piercing for me. And I'm a 46-year-old guy who, my hearing should be going. But my God. So yeah, Paisley had the time of her life. So I recommend the movie. Especially, I won't give any spoilers.
So a couple more years to go on the IMAX presentations for the kids.
Dude, I don't know what's going to happen. All right, a couple of other news notes here. We have Dave Meltzer gave an update on why Rey Mysterio was not on Raw last night. He had a medical issue, so I won't get on him. Although the funny thing is, they didn't.
What, do you think he no-showed like Bandito did?
Well, no, but here's the deal. Yeah, you know what happened when Bandito no-showed? They go, hey, the guy ain't here. He didn't get on his plane or whatever. Instead, they spend a week advertising it's going to be Rey Mysterio versus Veer, and then they do the show, and there's no Rey Mysterio. He's just not there. And Dominic comes out, and Dominic starts doing the match. It's like, where's his dad at? You know, you don't like to see a kid without their dad. So he comes out, he gets killed, he gets murdered, and then you're expecting Ray to show up. There's no Ray. I don't think they had mentioned one thing about where Ray was. At least with Rhea Ripley, who there was another advertised match they didn't do. Rhea Ripley wasn't there, but they at least told us, and I quote, "She's in protocol." What does that mean?
I don't know.
It sounds like she's going to be sent to outer space or something. She's in protocol. She won't be here tonight because she's in protocol. So we're presuming that next week she'll be out of protocol.
Are we also to assume that means COVID? Since I don't know when I
No,
heard
we don't know
protocol.
anything.
So he's in. So it's not the concussion protocol or the COVID protocol, which are the only two protocols.
Well, here's the
we
problem.
ever hear of.
They don't like to say the word COVID. They never have. Nor do they like to say the word concussion.
True.
So my guess is it's either concussion or COVID because they're in protocol.
With Ray, I just don't know why they can't say it was a lingering effect from Veer and Dominic. He told Dominic not to do it, but Dominic said to hell with it. I'm taking this guy on, and then do it that way. I was surprised. Again, who knows what this issue is? Maybe it's going to linger for a long time, but I would have figured they would have played it into Veer's attack last week since they want to get him over as this killer. I mean, obviously,
you'd think, wouldn't
since
you?
Dominic went out in the ambulance, that was going to be the way.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Well, they didn't do that. He just wasn't there at all. He was nowhere to be seen.
There were a lot of things that were unexplained on this show.
And you know what I hope? I hope next week, Cody Rhodes comes out next week and he says, "There's a lot of violence on this show. After all, Veer he injured Rey Mysterio, and then Miz has to go, no, in protocol." Because that's the gimmick. Cody uses all the banned words, and then he has to be corrected. That's literally what the gimmick is right now. He was on the show last night, and he said the word belt. And Miz, the funny thing is, we all hear these things when we talk about these things, but I'm sure that some of those, stand up for WWE blokes actually don't believe it. But it's all true. And when Cody mentioned that he wanted to win the belt, Miz literally said, and these were his exact words, "It's a title. A belt holds your pants up." That was the exact thing that we had heard for years. And it was incredible to actually hear them use that terminology on Monday Night Raw. And he also said wrestlers, and Miz said, no, they're superstars. So,
the thing about the belt just used to be a heel line. I heard Dick Slater did that with Rufus R. Jones. It's not a belt, Rufus. It's a championship, trying to put some spice on there. And it's been said before, the fact that they take it to such an extreme is hilarious. But the fact that they're also talking about it, wrestling is a part of Cody's introduction. I don't know how long they're going to push this or how much they're going to go with this, but yeah, it does stand out that Cody, he is the wrestler. He is the one talking about the second generation and all that sort of stuff. So
it's not even that. I actually like it because his gimmick is that he is an AEW wrestler that has gone to WWE. Because in AEW, they say belt. In AEW, they say wrestler. And you know what else they say in AEW that I can't say on the air? The S word, which he almost said and then corrected himself. So his gimmick is he's an AEW guy.
Well, I don't know about that as much as they're letting him be.
That's his gimmick.
Well, they're letting him be Cody Rhodes right now, or at least they're presenting him as WWE's version of Cody Rhodes, which is a lot closer to what he's been doing than they do with a lot of other people. You know what I mean? So how long they'll let that continue on, I don't know. But it is a refreshing little burst of wind on their program with him there and doing this stuff.
Yeah, the S word. I can't say it on the air. There's a radio show. Do I have to mention this every week that we're on the radio and there's commercials? And if you're watching it on Twitch or YouTube, you're just watching it in an alternative medium, but we're a radio show. Well, you can't say that word on the radio.
Turner S&P has not let us go with any of this stuff. And Byline yells at me and suspends me and all that sort of stuff. So obviously we didn't get it passed through. When we're able to say S on the radio freely, I'm sure that we will.
Of course we won't. We're professionals here.
Granny
the other day goes, she never listens to this show because of all my swearing, and I explained I don't do any swearing on this show.
Didn't she used to like listening to this show because there was no swearing?
I think you ran her off, Mike.
Oh, Tony Khan did.
Well, both of you.
Hey,
Anyway.
I never dropped any MFs or Fs on the air. You have.
No.
Very close.
We're going to head to a break, everybody. We're going to move on. Wrestling Observer Live.
Hey there, everyone. It's Denise, and I'm back once again. This time, I got the opportunity to chat with Filthy Tom Lawlor. Here's a little bit of our conversation.
The road less traveled, I guess you'd say. My biggest inspiration, I've always watched wrestling since I was a kid. And, you know, I've always, honestly, I should say, I've watched MMA since UFC 2 was on pay-per-view when I was like 12. So I've been watching that almost since its inception in the US. And through the time period, I can pinpoint and say my biggest inspirations were the pro wrestlers in Pride. So these were sometimes guys like Takayama, Don Fry, Sakuraba, who would be going back and forth between pro wrestling and MMA. They weren't necessarily, stuck in one world or the other. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a fighter in Pride FC in Japan, and I wanted to wrestle in Hustle and 01 and New Japan and All Japan and Noah and all these other companies. And when I was given the chance to make fighting my career, that wasn't an option. You know, Pride was gone. The UFC was the show to fight in, and I tried to continue to be a pro wrestler, even when I was in the UFC, with my entrances and walkouts and stuff like that. But I guess I've always just viewed myself as both. Well, this is something I think about a lot as a pro wrestler. You know, you have a lot of free time. Sometimes you're traveling and you got nobody to talk to, so you're stuck in your own mind. I don't want to give this away too much, but I'll be 40 next year, which sounds kind of old, but you know, physically, I felt worse, I guess, when I was doing MMA. I was more beat up. So, this is being a little bit easier on my body right now. And when I look at guys like Minoru Suzuki, Yuji Nagata, some of the guys who are still on the New Japan roster, Satoshi Kojima, these are guys who are in their 50s. And Suzuki is a huge star over here. He just had an awesome match with Hiromu Takahashi. And, you know, you wouldn't know that this is a guy who's in his 50s. So when I look at that, I don't think I've even come close to overstaying my welcome in the pro wrestling world, because I've only been here a few years. So it's not like I feel like I'm, long in the tooth for this world. So my long-term goal is to be wrestling when I'm 55, still traveling the world doing that. But in the short term, it's to take that New Japan Strong open weight title over to Japan.
It was a great time getting to chat with Tom Lawlor. I hope you guys appreciated this preview. I'll see you on the next video.
Seems blokes here are clamoring for this Raw report.
Ah.
Oh, God, what is this?
What? What are they doing to you?
Yeah, I didn't want to talk about this. And actually, Dave wanted to talk about it last night, but I forgot to bring it up.
The Spence Ugas fight this weekend.
Nah. What's this idiot Strowman doing?
Oh, boy. You saw my tweet, eh?
No, what was your tweet?
Well, a couple days ago, he was trying to talk to a fan who said, "Man, what you do is so based," giving him a compliment.
Oh, yeah,
apparently.
this idiot?
Yeah, he
And he starts
didn't
yelling at the
understand
fan
that.
because he's so stupid. Hey, listen, I mean this with all due respect. This is one of the dumbest guys, in the history of man, okay? God bless the guy. But, He's so dumb. It's one thing when some random moron on Twitter or a bot starts doing the paid by Tony Khan thing. But this idiot actually thinks that Tony Khan pays Dave and I. Like, the level of stupidity to actually believe that is unfathomable to me. Like, I read Twitter and everything like that, and, I often think, this person can't possibly be real. And then you realize that they're actually not real. They're just an egg bot, probably sent here by Captain Robotnik, now that I think about it. But this dummy, this guy, I got a 2.5-year-old who's smarter than Strowman. I swear to God, she is smarter than Braun Strowman. I'm not going to say anything more about this dummy. What an idiot. Like, seriously, what an idiot. Remember that one thing where he said something, he was really stupid about it, and he said something stupid on Twitter? This is probably like 50 times. And then, like, a bunch of people, talked to him privately, and he realized how stupid he was, and so he kind of sort of apologized,
So the entire time, Shane McMahon was shooting, wasn't he?
Yeah, of course he was. Of course he was.
That was ribbing on the square in hindsight.
Golly. Dude, I got a pair of shoes right here. These shoes right here, smarter than Strowman. Do you want me to go on?
We need a presentation of things smarter than Braun Strowman. We need to have these.
No, the thing should be find out what Braun Strowman is smarter than. That should be the real, What is Braun Strowman smarter than?
A dodo bird.
I'm trying to think. I mean, I know some stupid dogs. So there are some dogs that I would argue that Braun Strowman is smarter than, but I don't want to get on that rant again.
Did you ever figure out what dog you're watching is? Great Pyrenees.
Dog watching?
Yes. Said you were watching a dog yesterday.
Well, I was in a
Big,
house
white,
with a dog.
Fluffy dog.
That dog was smarter than Strowman. I mean, come on.
How about the Twitch chat right now? How are they doing? YouTube chat?
You want to know who's smarter than Strowman? The YouTube chat.
Damn. Ouch.
Okay, can I move on now?
Yes.
Strowman, you are banned from Wrestling Observer Live. You're not allowed to come on. You're too stupid to come on the show. Do you understand? Ryan and Cumberland smarter than Braun Strowman.
If you could figure out how to unblock him, you would bring him back on before Braun Strowman.
Yeah, Honolulu's smarter than Strowman. Honolulu!
And he's still a young man with his whole life to go. He's got a lot more to learn. At this point, Braun, those brain cells are going to start going one by one. And
John in Memphis is way smarter than Strowman. He's a gimmick, but he's significantly smarter. Yeah. No Braun Strowman allowed on this show. Don't even ask, Braun. Whatever your real name is. I don't think Braun Strowman's your real name either. Should I throw that in there? You know who else is not?
You can't control.
You know who else is not paid by Tony Khan? Braun Strowman. Anyway, I was going to do Raw, but I wasted too much time talking about this dummy. Friday's WrestleMania 38 Fallout Edition of SmackDown. 2.230 million viewers on Fox. Down 5.5% from the previous week's episode. Second largest audience for the show since March 4th. 0.60 rating in the 18 to 49 demo. Down 4.8% from the previous week. And a bunch of other stuff here. I'm still on Strowman.
I know. This is really annoying you, isn't it?
I mean, you got to be kidding me.
Is it just his stupidity? Is it the fact that this stupid thing is being repeated again by somebody? Is it just him in general and his hair? Or, is just everything?
No, I have nothing against the guy personally. But the fact of the matter is, if you're so dumb that you believe that Tony Khan is actually paying Dave and I, it's one thing to be some dumb fan on the internet, but bro, you're in the business. You have connections. You could very easily find out if this is true or not. What, were you on Reddit and you saw the fake invoice? Like the fakest invoice that you could ever possibly Photoshop together that had Dave and I getting paid or whatever. You believe Tony Khan's tweet the other day about my $200,000 a month paycheck? I mean, come on. This is insane stupidity. I will apologize for calling Braun an idiot if he smartens up about how stupid he is about this. You understand? You understand what I'm saying? If you smarten up, I will no longer call you stupid. But until then, idiot.
Now,
how do you believe this? How do you believe this?
Do you also need an apology out of him, or just the acceptance?
I don't need an apology. I don't need an apology.
Just the acceptance that he's an idiot is enough.
I can't wrap my head around this being so dumb that you would actually believe that. I gotta find this stupid interview. Where did he say this?
EC3.
Somebody give me a link to this interview.
EC3 has been on this show, correct?
Yes.
He's in the promotion with EC3.
Yes.
Is he then thinking that EC3 is a bought and paid for stooge because he appeared on this program
I don't know.
with you?
I don't know.
You got some answers, Braun. Maybe you want to hear them. Not on this show because you're not coming on, but maybe you're throwing more people than you think under the bus with such a comment.
Hey, listen.
Tuning their integrity.
Hey, that's fine. If you're that dumb, then that's on you, not on me. Rampage did 600,000, up 31.6% from the previous week. Best audience for the show since January 28. Fourth on cable in the 18 to 49 demo with a .25 rating. Ties the January 28th episode for Rampage's highest rating in the demo. I was just reading on the internet about how Rampage is doing terrible because it's taped. People won't watch if they know the spoilers.
What?
Meanwhile, we got 600,000 viewers and a .25 here for a taped show.
Isn't the problem
maybe
always
it's the
Friday
fact that it's
10?
on Friday nights at 10, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Now, are these AEW fans that are leading this charge on, well, we got to be live? F it, let's do it live. That's what we need to do? Is that what it is?
Dagan sent me the article. Let me find this article here.
Thank you, Dagan.
I can't believe I'm wasting time on this.
Well,
but you know what
comes after is the Raw report, so it's understandable.
Yeah. Well, that's most of the news anyway, aside from the news that Chris Dickinson, his dream has come true, making New Japan his pro wrestling home, officially signed an agreement with New Japan, allows him to work indies in the U.S. and internationally. So he is
God bless
proud
his soul.
announce...
In his Instagram thing, he's like, "There's all these people that wanted me to sign elsewhere," and I'm sure that there were people that said, "Man, I'd love to see an AEW or something like that." I think any Chris Dickinson fan though, who's watched this guy and seen him throughout Evolve and all the stuff that he does, like that dude is a New Japan dude. That dude is a Japanese wrestling dude. So I'm really happy he's got his chance in the promotion that he always wanted to go for.
All right. Braun, this is from Ringside News, recently joined the bandwagon of wrestlers and fans who mocked Tony Khan for his tweet about a network of bots disparaging AEW. Strowman called out Khan once again. He claimed Tony Khan pays dirt sheet writers and claims his wrestlers are free to work where they want. That is not the case, he noted. Strowman criticized Khan for blackballing AEW talent for appearing in the Control Your Narrative promotion. Gee, why would he do that? This is the same guy said, maybe I'll read in the Braun voice. This is the same guy that pays the dirt sheets and says his wrestlers are free to do whatever, but blackballed, 2 words by the way, them from CYN shows. Why? Because we're an effing threat. That was more a Vince McMahon impression.
You read that like you got blue balls.
Yeah, look at this guy. He told a fan that watching Dynamite was, quote, punishment. So why are you watching it then, you dummy? What else did he say here? Anything else? Nah, that's about it for here. Yeah. He's one of those guys that doesn't want to watch it. It's punishment, but he watches anyway, apparently.
Hate watching?
Yeah.
There's people that hate listening to this show and things like that, you know. Of course, those people always forget.
I hope he hates listening to this show and is forced to against his own will. He can't help it but listen. Torture to listen to that Observer Live. I can't help myself, though. Anyway.
Oh, Braun. Talking about everybody else and all these dirt sheets and everything. I mean, you could always bring back the old, how's your territory doing? You know, keep that one in your pocket to throw out on them next time. But I don't know. What's a dirt sheet anyway at this point? Now, does Sean Ross Sapp doesn't write anything down on paper and send it out to anybody? Like, is that a dirt sheet? John Pollock's been around this game a long time. Post-wrestling's fantastic. Like, are they a dirt sheet? You know, what constitutes a dirt sheet? Just people that you don't like? Or what exactly is it? What is a dirt sheet?
I'm not sure, but you ever seen those giant dinosaurs? Their brain is the size of a walnut,
like
even though they're so big.
Hadrosaur?
If we could get like a Stegosaurus, a Brontosaurus, and Braun Strowman on Jeopardy together, who do you think it would come out with the most money?
Stegosaurus.
It's possible.
Yeah.
That one's got plates on its back. Hey, listen, when we come back, we're going to do that Raw report. I promise this time. Back in a moment, Observer Live.
Last month, we got to see AEW crown a brand new AEW Women's World Champion and Thunder Rosa. I had the opportunity to speak with Thunder Rosa, and here are some of the best moments from that interview.
Everything that I have, like you see all this stuff that I have, is because I have worked my ass off for it. Nothing, absolutely nothing has to be handed to me. Nothing. And they know, and I get so emotional because in LA, having girls that look like me, the brown girls, and like all types of girls that come and they say, I follow wrestling because you make me follow wrestling. You make me believe in wrestling. It's so important. And it's so important that people know that I'm real. And then what I'm doing is because I'm not doing just because I want to get a title or just because I want to get a paper saying my name, Thunder Rosa, that she's the best in the world. No, they know I'm doing this because I believe in this and because I believe in change. And even though like a lot of the times I'm not on the spotlight or on the big shows, being in like Elevation and Dark and the people like it's crazy. I still can't believe it. Like every time I come out and like people go nuts and I'm just like, oh, is this me? Is this happening for me? And it is happening for me. Again, it's because they see how real Thunder Rosa is and how she works for what she wants and she believes in what in what she's working for. Right. So I think that can make anybody a little scared and a little afraid because you can be under the spotlight, you can have all the accolades and you can have everything. But sometimes you can't have that emotional connection that other people have. And that's what makes your opponent dangerous because that you start getting in people's heads. It's like, what is this that person has? She has nothing. Like she's just a song. That's the reason why people get so pumped up. No, it's not a song. I'm a whole vibe, bitch. A whole fucking vibe. And if you don't believe it, every single city I go to, it doesn't matter who is in there, like what the demographics are in that city. Thunder Rosa comes and they feel the thunder. Some of the matches that I have envisioned and some of the things that I would love to do, when I was an NWA champion, I was a fighting champion. Like I went out everywhere. I defended that thing during COVID times. I found a way to make it relevant. And I want the AEW women's division to be kind of like just like Kenny Omega was doing. I would love to do something like that. I think we haven't had a champion like that. And I think I have what it takes to be that. I have the grit. I have the determination. I have the consistency. That's what I've been working on for the last 2 years. How to become a real leader that leads with passion, with compassion, that is ready to take on challenges, that is ready to build other people up, that is ready to, I think this is the most important part, represent others instead of just representing me.
I hope you guys enjoyed this quick roundup. If you did, go ahead and let me know. You can follow me on Twitter and/or on Instagram @_ Denise Salcedo.
Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live, Mike Sempervive, also of WrestlingObserver.com. Yes, it's time for the Raw Report.
Before we do that,
No!
R.I.P. Gilbert Gottfried.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, really. Tell me about it.
All right, well, I'll allow you to talk about Gilbert Gottfried instead of the Raw Report.
Well, I mean, was he one of your favorite comedians? A very
I would say he was
unique,
one of my favorite comedians, but I'm sad that he's gone.
a unique voice. That is for sure. And when peppered into certain situations, yeah, his stand-up was always pretty good, and a fun guy when he would appear on different shows, Howard Stern and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, just certainly a legendary character. That's for absolutely sure. So R.I.P. This year sucks. Get to this stupid Raw Report. This is stupid.
Wow, it wasn't that bad. I mean, there were some questionable things on it. It opened up with Miz TV and Cody Rhodes. It was the Cody Rhodes show here tonight. These fans absolutely loved this guy.
That part
milked
wasn't
it
stupid.
for all it was worth. They just cheered him. They went crazy. They go nuts. They're just so happy to see him. He sits down and Miz goes, "Are you done yet?" And so he gets up and he just does more. And the fans are like, yeah, they just love this guy. And then we had a brief promo segment where Miz constantly corrected him on his inappropriate usage of these incorrect terms here in WWE. And then he tried to attack him, but, Rhodes sent him packing. So not only did Cody beat Miz, he wasn't even humiliated in the angle leading up to it. So, when you pay a guy a lot of money, that's kind of what happens.
They're doing it
Veer
right
Mahan,
so far.
What was that?
They're doing it right so far. I mean, the match with Seth
I told you all that.
Oh, well, look.
I did.
No, look, no, what you said was, that's what they have to do. And I think everybody agrees that, yes, you better put your best foot forward with somebody. But the problem always is Vince's interest and all that sort of stuff, and we've always seen that slide. And in a case of Cody Rhodes, as you've mentioned, you can't let that slide. So there is going to be hyper-focus week after week, but this tie-in with Miz, setting up to another match with Seth, which I know may be redundant for some people, but damn, the match was good. We got a great Miz and Cody sports entertainment thing, plus the bonus of a pretty damn good match. So 2 for 2 so far on Raw with Cody for me.
We had Veer versus Dominic. He just killed this guy. They sent him out on a stretcher. Poor Dominic just got his butt handed to him by Veer, who then, hey, listen, I was a big fan of Veer. I was excited to see Veer debut. You guys, all you worried about Cody? Dude, Cody's going to be fine. Veer is the one that you should be concerned about because, man, total generic, big, mean guy. Total generic, nothing happening promo. I strike fear into every man. It's like they gave him all of Strowman's lines, and that was the end of that. So
that's
ain't
that
doing,
formula.
They ain't doing nothing for me right now.
No, and that sucks too, because when you see this guy elsewhere, when you hear him talk, it's like, I know they want him to have a distinct character, but man, I don't know if they set this guy off on the best foot, but we'll see.
We had the damn dumbest thing with AJ Styles and Damian Priest. So they have a match, and the match is good because it's AJ and Damian Priest. And then all of a sudden, Priest knocks AJ out of the ring. AJ's on the floor. Damian Priest stands in the middle of the ring. The lights go out. Then we see his face going, or something scary. They go to commercial. I thought, all right, well, they do this sometimes. They want some stupid thing to lead you into commercial break because they don't want wrestling during the commercial. But anyway, they come back, and we've just moved on. I thought, what? And I rewound it. Did I miss the count out? What did I miss here? I missed nothing. The lights went out, and then they went to commercial and came back, and they moved on. There was no finish. There was no bell. The match technically is still going on because they never rang a bell. And then they cut backstage, and AJ's all angry. He goes, I don't know what the hell that was. I was like, we don't either. So anyway, he said he's not done with Priest and Edge.
Good for us, huh? If I were him, I'd just say I'm done with it and then just do something else. But the problem here is I don't mind letting the story play out. That's fine. Okay. But can somebody when they come back from commercial, everybody, even the Muppet Show, even Kermit would be looking at Fozzie and Schroeder or whoever the hell they were going, hey, why did the lights go out? Let's have something. No, just the lights go out. They come back on. AJ's the only one upset. Nobody else is. Even he says it. Am I the only one upset here? It's like Kevin Owens later on asking if he's the only one who's crazy. Good question.
Stupid. So then we had Cody versus The Miz, which was a good match. And you don't see a lot of really good Miz matches, but Cody... they had a very simple 12-minute basic match. They worked over the leg. They did the figure 4 spot. They did the whole 9 yards. And finally, Cody hits his springboard cutter. He hits the crossroads, pins him clean in the middle of the ring. Huge pop. Everybody goes crazy. And then Seth Rollins. What is Seth Rollins' character? He dances out in his stupid suit. He's all wacky. It's like, I'm supposed to take this seriously when you're not taking anything seriously? You're dancing, you're posing, you do that stupid laugh that you stole from Sasha, and then I guess they're going to do a match at WrestleMania Backlash. I hate this character. It's better than the Messiah, but that's about it. That's about it.
You think he buys all of his clothes? I guess he gets to write all those off, because the amount of money he must be spending on wardrobe right now is incredible.
We had Tommaso Ciampa debut, and then Ezekiel shows up, and he says, "Hi, I'm Ezekiel. I'm Elias's younger brother." And Kevin Owens shows up, and he goes, "That ain't Ezekiel, it's Elias. It's obviously Elias." And Ciampa goes, "No, that's Ezekiel." So I don't know if you guys remember back in the day, World Championship Wrestling, where they had a feud with Hulk Hogan and the Warrior, and the Warrior could appear and disappear in a cloud of smoke via magic. And one day, Hulk Hogan is in the locker room, and he looks in the mirror, and he sees the Warrior, but the Warrior's not there. In theory, only Hogan can see the Warrior. So like all of his friends in the locker room and everybody else, they can't see the Warrior. So they all think that Hulk Hogan is crazy. However, we can also see the Warrior. So we are also crazy. As they're calling the heel crazy, we're also crazy because we can see the Warrior. So the story here is that Kevin Owens thinks that this guy is Elias. You and I know it's Elias, but everybody else in the promotion thinks it's another guy.
Can I ask
and it's
you a
not
question?
heels, by the way. It's baby faces.
Can I ask you a question?
Go for it.
Is there any possibility that Elias was gone for so long with no reasoning at all that they've done a bunch of stuff recorded with him so they can actually like play the two off of each other somehow?
Well, I'm sure they should do some sort of backstage segment with CGI.
Do you think they actually have done that?
Two guys?
Is there any chance? Because that's going to be the only thing that makes this thing redeeming is any comedy that can come from like Elias and Ezekiel in the same place at the same time together.
Hey, you know Natalie Portman?
I've heard of her, yes.
Okay. My mind was absolutely blown. My daughter still is into Star Wars, so we got a Star Wars magazine at the grocery store. Mm-hmm. And in the, I think it's the Phantom, no, I can't remember which, I think it's the Phantom Menace. So Natalie Portman plays the Queen, okay? Padme, she's the Queen. And so she's got this entourage. Spoilers, everybody. And she has this entourage of these other handmaidens or whatever. And it turns out, at the end of the movie, that one of the handmaidens is actually the queen. And the real queen has been a decoy the entire time, okay? So anyway, I've watched this movie, I don't even know how many times, much to my dismay, because this is the one with Jar Jar Binks. But anyway, I've watched this movie so many times, and I was absolutely, I mean, it wasn't even like a question in my mind. Natalie Portman played herself and the Queen. It was just like, okay, well, you know, they use CGI or whatever, and so she's playing both roles, okay? So I'm reading this Star Wars magazine to Paisley the other night, and it explains to me that Keira Knightley was the one who played the Queen.
Huh.
I was like, what? And I look at the picture, and I'm like, no, that's the same person. But in fact, it's not. It's two different people.
Damn. Does that say
now,
more about you?
Unless Keira Knightley is playing Ezekiel, this thing just isn't going to work.
Do all small white women look alike to you?
No,
Maybe
but dude, even my wife, she was like, man, look at that. She looked online after I read it.
Thought it was Natalie Portman, too. I didn't know that.
I'm not the only one here, you idiots. Get out of here. So anyway, then we had Naomi beating Liv Morgan because Rhea Ripley was in Protocol. So they were going to do a tag team championship match, and they have to delay it because of Protocol. And so the challenger got pinned in 2 minutes by one of the champions.
Because she probably would have lost in the tag match.
Because of course she did.
Because she probably would have lost in the tag match. So
it doesn't matter. Then beat her in the tag match then.
I know.
We had the VIP lounge with Bobby Lashley. We've mentioned this before. Like they had a great act with him and MVP. MVP talks for him. He's a scary looking guy. Now he's got to talk for himself. And there was a reason MVP talked for him. Crowds chanting, what? They don't care. MVP comes out. And once MVP came out, MVP is such a great promo that, like, he lit a fire under Lashley, and they actually had a really good back and forth. Unfortunately, what it's leading to is another Omos versus Bobby Lashley match, which I do not need to see. Plus, Omos is going to get the win, I'm sure, this time, so that's not good. We had a segment with Reggie Akira Tozawa. There was a bachelor party, bachelorette party. Bunch of hoo-ha occurred, and they're going to have a double wedding next week. And R-Truth is going to be the officiant, as it is called.
Texas tornado rules during that wedding, surely.
Austin Theory is no longer Austin Theory. Literally in storyline, Vince decided Austin wasn't a very good name. So now he's just Theory. That's literally what he said. So now he's just Theory. And he left, and then Owens showed up, and he's really upset about this Ezekiel Elias thing. So next week, they're going to have a lie detector test. Which, you know what I'm going to do next week, everybody?
What's that?
I am going to teach you how to beat a lie detector test here on the air. You think I'm joking? I'm going to tell you how to beat it. Yeah. And the answer is not by being a great liar. There's actually a trick. You know where I read it, by the way? Big Secrets. Remember we talked about that a while ago? The Kentucky Fried Chicken recipe?
Are you doing that? Wait, can I guess right now?
Go for it.
The breathing and the tack in the hand bit?
As tack in the shoe. We'll talk about it next week.
Okay.
Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair beats Queen Zelina. That was quick. And then afterwards, they shot an angle where Sonya Deville attacked her, and Sonya Deville has signed herself to be the next challenger for Bianca Belair.
Ice Cube's kid said it the best. O'Shea Jackson Jr. on Twitter last night. Sonya Deville has attacked more black people than high blood pressure. Doesn't even make any sense. Nobody can still explain why she hated Naomi so much. Then she shows up and chop blocks Bianca Belair. But in reality, I'm actually really happy to see her back in the ring because I would be just fine with Adam Pearce being the only executive. That's just fine for me.
Then we had Chad Gable coming out. They had 45 minutes of TV time left, and so Chad Gable came out and he talked 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 and he talked. Then they had Randy Orton and Riddle beating Alpha Academy, and we still had a half hour of television time left and no matches. The show was just going to go off the air a half hour early. But thankfully, the Usos showed up, and they wanted a unification match with Randy Orton and Riddle, and Randy talked him out of it. And so instead, we got Usos versus the Street Profits. Usos beat them, and we're heading towards a unification match, Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Back in a moment, everybody. Observer Live. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Mike Sempervive, also of WrestlingObserver.com. Hey, 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern. 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern.
Is a time.
That's when Lance Storm is going to be on. Lance Storm, Figure 4 Daily, live for our top-tier YouTube subscribers. Ho! Braun stressed that CYB wasn't an indie promotion and doubled down on it when pressed.
CYN.
Well, it says CYB right here, but regardless.
Cover your butts.
Well, what is it then?
Control your narrative.
No, I know, but what is it if it's not an indie promotion?
Apparently his isn't. I don't know. How is it not an indie promotion? I don't know. What is it? I have no idea. Has anyone
like an
seen
indie
it?
Promotion to me. I mean, I haven't seen it on national TV. Have you seen it on national TV? I haven't.
I have not.
I haven't even seen it on Seattle Public Access.
Apparently, Sarah Logan is going to control her narrative here. A Viking woman herself. I
That's
guess
fine.
is going
She's allowed
down
on the show.
Yeah.
EC3's allowed on the show.
Yeah.
But not Strowman. He's not allowed.
No.
Banned. Till he
Banned.
smartens up. When he smartens up, he can come on the show. Maybe. But he has to smarten up first, so we'll see about that.
No apologies needed. Just the recognition, Braun. Look in the mirror.
Yeah, I don't need an apology.
Think as
You need
hard
to
as you
smarten up
can.
about it. Yeah. Start using your whatever brain you've got. That's it. Okay? That's all I'm asking. You know? I'm not asking a lot. Right?
Right.
Can you think of another wrestler at his age as much of a workhorse murder monster as Minoru Suzuki? He's wrestling Samoa Joe and Ishii in the same week, not to mention probably a dozen matches he had Mania week. That's a real tough guy. That's
Damn
a real
right.
smart, tough guy.
Mm-hmm.
And we're out of here. We'll talk to you in an hour. Lance Storm, Figure 4 Daily. And we'll talk to you here tomorrow, Wrestling Observer Live.